A quarter of a century after YASARA first supported interactive molecular dynamics with a virtual reality headset, VR is finally back with a vengeance, and yet another scientific virtual reality application is ready to help you explore new worlds. Click Help, Play Help Movie, Virtual Reality PC right after having installed the VR hardware as described in the user manual at Essentials, Running YASARA in Special Environments. Start with Section 1, the VR setup. Your screen becomes part of the VR environment. To place it in the virtual world, you need to touch the 4 screen corners with a controller and pull the trigger. Click File, Load YASARA Scene to load a complete scene. For example, this model of human immunodeficiency virus from our Pet World database, a collection of giant structures, some with billions of atoms. Use your VR controller as a 3D mouse. Hold the grip button to move the scene or a single object. To look inside, click View, Cut, All. Hold the trigger a bit to aim with the laser at the cut plane, and fully pull and hold the trigger to grab the cut plane object. Click Window, Stereo, Virtual Reality to start the real thing. Put on your headset. In case you always thought your screen was a little bit too small, this is your opportunity for a free upgrade. You can change the screen size together with many other virtual reality parameters. Click Window, Stereo, Virtual Reality Parameters and adjust them as needed. Molecular modeling is not a video game. For long, productive 3D sessions, stay seated and use your keyboard and mouse. YASARA can impose them whenever you look, even in stereo, thanks to the headset camera. To mark an atom, hold the trigger a bit to aim, and then pull it fully and quickly. The graphical user interface is not fixed on the VR screen. Click the top button to move it to the marked atom, to the controller, or to place it in midair. Of course, you can also explore the virtual world on foot. Take both controllers and go. The grid on the floor indicates the boundaries of the VR area where you can walk around safely. The user interface provides access to hundreds of functions. Most easily, mark an atom with the laser, tap right to open the context menu, and make your choice. For example, swap the marked proline residue to asparagine. To make an interactive selection, click the box or lasso selection icon in the top right corner until a message prompts you to start. Then hold the trigger and move the controller around the atoms you want to select. Grab an object for movement by aiming at it with the laser and holding the trigger until a rotating sphere appears around it. Then hold the controller's grip button to move the object around like a conductor conducting an orchestra. Alternatively, you can take an object into your hand by touching it with a controller and then holding the grip button. If you want to know what is going on in the real world, keep the top button pressed to activate pass-through mode and have a look. Some headsets require to double tap on their side instead. Finally, sit down again. This is especially easy if you are using a Vive or Index headset and bought an extra Vive tracker. To make your chair appear in the VR world, simply attach the tracker to the top of the chair as shown, for example, using a camera tripod with flexible legs. Let's have a look at giant structures in VR. Click File, Load, YASARA Scene, and pick a pet world model of SARS-CoV-2. Since such giant structures take the GPU to the limit, which can reduce the VR frame rate, it's best to get rid of the hydrogen atoms first by clicking Edit, Delete Hydrogens. Time to stand up again and take the user interface with you by pressing the top button. To get closer to the virus, you could simply hold the grip button and pull the virus towards you. Unfortunately, experience with VR has shown that such rapid movements of the entire scene can cause motion sickness. As an alternative, you can use the teleporter. Point the laser at the floor and hold the trigger until a rotating sphere and the teleporter appear, which is just a rectangle around the floor grid. You can move the teleporter like any other object. For example, hold up to push it away towards the virus, or hold the grip button to fine-tune the position. To teleport your workplace to the new location, tap up quickly. Now practice grabbing objects with the trigger and moving them with the grip button. Take the nasty virus apart. The features you have seen so far are all part of the YASARA model program. If you own YASARA Dynamics or YASARA Structure, you can use many additional functions, for example, interactive molecular dynamics simulations, which we will look at next. You are now inside a box with air. Press F12 to start the simulation. Oxygen molecules are red, nitrogen molecules are blue, and a few carbon dioxides are also swirling around. Mark an atom by pulling the trigger quickly. Then hold down to pull the marked atom towards the controller. Hold up to push the marked atom away, and additionally, hold the trigger to push or pull all atoms in the object together. Note that this simulation is run at constant temperature, so if you accelerate all atoms in the same direction, their motions will lose internal degrees of freedom. Let's have a look at something more interesting to simulate. This is TWIC1, a 2-pore domain potassium channel that contributes to cardiac rhythm generation and insulin release from pancreatic beta cells. To start a simulation with F12 while standing, simply click on the right edge of the user interface to show the virtual keyboard. In VR, simulations are run on the CPU to keep the GPU fully available for the visualization. The extracellular side is on the top with a high concentration of green sodium ions. If you go down on your knees, you can see magenta potassium ions on the intracellular side. Unfortunately, the potassium channel is currently out of order. If you have a look at the pore in the center, you can see that it has been blocked by an orange barium ion. This is an excellent occasion to apply interactive MD and pull the barium ion out. To end this movie, let's check the current limits of interactive MD in VR. Click File, Load, YASARA Scene, and pick STMV, the simian tobacco mosaic virus. With over 1 million atoms to visualize and simulate, this is the ultimate stress test for a single PC. Press F12 yet another time and have a final look. By offering you the free choice between a seated and a standing workplace, YASARA combines the relaxed and productive 3D modeling experience known from shutter glasses with the exciting possibility to walk through and touch your models. Try it yourself at www.yasara.org/VR.